In this world, truth has no throne. It does not sit at the head of the table commanding respect simply because it exists. No. The throne belongs to perception, and the man who learns to control how he is seen will rule over those who are more talented, more intelligent, even more virtuous than him. This is not fair, but fairness is a child's expectation. Power belongs to the ruthless adult who understands the game. You may carry wisdom that could save empires, skill that could rebuild nations, or loyalty that could anchor kingdoms. But if the world does not see you as important, none of it matters. The cruel reality is this: you are not rewarded for what you are, but for what you appear to be. And here is where most men fail. They think the world will eventually recognize them. They believe that if they keep their head down, work hard, and play by the rules, someone will eventually place the crown upon their head. That's a fantasy, and it's why so many brilliant men die unknown, uncelebrated, and powerless. In truth, the crown is never given. It is claimed long before it is deserved. The man who waits for permission to act like a leader will never be one. Today, I'm not here to feed you empty inspiration. I'm here to hand you a weapon, the weapon of projected power. I'm here to show you how to carry yourself as if you are already unshakable, untouchable, inevitable, even before reality catches up. Because make no mistake, reality does not lead perception. Perception leads reality. The moment the world starts believing you are something, it will start shaping the circumstances to match that belief. And the man who knows this truth and acts on it wins, even against those who, on paper, should have crushed him. So I ask you this: when you walk into a room, what do they see? Do they see a man they must respect, or do they see nothing at all? When you step into a room, people are not scanning your resume in their minds. They are not analyzing your history, your true skill, or your moral worth. They are scanning for signals, signals of dominance, of certainty, of authority. Sent in less than 5 seconds, they've already decided how to treat you. This is why a mediocre man who walks like a king will be served, while a superior man who moves like a shadow will be ignored. The masses are not investigators. They are instinct-driven creatures. They don't dig deep. They respond to what's in front of them. Here's the brutal truth. If your posture is weak, if your voice is hesitant, if your eyes wander like you're searching for approval, you have already lost before you speak. Your words will be dismissed no matter how intelligent. Your ideas will be ignored no matter how valuable, and your presence will be forgotten no matter how pure your intentions. The harsh reality is that people do not respect merit in its raw form. They respect the appearance of merit. Think about it. You've seen men in positions of power who are laughably unqualified, politicians who couldn't lead themselves out of a hallway yet command millions, executives who speak in vague cliches yet sit on thrones built on the backs of sharper minds. They didn't rise because they were the best. They rose because they looked like they belonged there. They mastered the art of making others believe before they had the evidence to prove it. And while they win, the quiet genius sits in the corner waiting for the right time, assuming the world will one day reward him for being genuine, for being humble, for being correct. It won't. The world is not a moral judge. It is a mirror, reflecting the image you project. If you project power, people treat you as powerful. If you project uncertainty, they smell weakness and close in. So remember this: you are always sending a signal. The question is whether it says I lead or I follow. History is not a record of the best men winning. It is a record of the most convincing men winning. The battlefield, the throne room, the Senate floor, they have always been ruled by those who mastered performance as much as skill. Julius Caesar did not simply defeat armies. He looked like a man destined to rule Rome long before the Senate handed him the title. He understood that victory was not only earned with legions, but with an image, the way he walked among his soldiers, the way he addressed the people, the way he carried himself as if the gods had already chosen him. Napoleon Bonaparte stood barely over 5 feet tall, a stature that should have disqualified him in the eyes of a world obsessed with physical presence. Yet portraits, speeches, and his own calculated posture turned him into a giant in the minds of both allies and enemies. He mastered the optics of authority, every pose, every word, every uniform detail engineered to signal dominance. The man wasn't tall, but his shadow stretched across Europe. Even Niccolo Machiavelli, the father of political strategy, was not born into noble blood. He did not inherit power, he constructed it. He wrote as if he had the authority to dictate to kings, and kings listened. His power was not in armies or wealth, but in the certainty with which he delivered his ideas. The weight of his words came not only from their truth, but from the way they were presented, unapologetic, decisive, commanding. These men understood something that most never grasp. Perception shapes reality. People follow those who look like they know the way. They surrender to those who act as if they cannot be challenged. The truth may eventually matter, but by then, the game is already won or lost based on how you were perceived from the beginning. You can be brilliant and fail. You can be right and lose. You can be moral and still be crushed, but if you control your image, you control the battlefield before the first shot is fired. That is the real advantage, and it belongs to those who perform power before they possess it. Power is not just something you have, it's something you broadcast. And like any broadcast, it must be intentional, consistent, and impossible to ignore. If you want to dominate in a world ruled by illusion, you must master the rituals of presence, small deliberate behaviors that communicate authority without a single word. These are not random habits, they are calculated signals that reach the subconscious mind of everyone around you. Speak less but with precision. The man who fills silence with endless words looks like he is trying to prove himself. The man who chooses his words like a weapon, sharp, controlled, and rare, forces people to lean in when he speaks. Move slower than those around you. The rushed man looks reactive, desperate, and unprepared. The man who moves with controlled pace appears to own time itself. Never look up at anyone. Look through them. Eye contact is not about aggression, it's about dominance without effort. Hold it long enough to signal you are unmoved, then break it on your own terms. Let silence do the talking. If you can sit in a pause without fidgeting, without rushing to fill the air, others will interpret it as judgment. Smile with intention. A constant smile makes you look harmless. A rare one makes it a reward. Every gesture you make should serve the narrative. I am the authority here. It's not arrogance, it's certainty. You're not trying to convince everyone to like you. You're showing them that whether they like you or not, you matter. Power is not only won in the moments you are seen, it is sustained in the way you are remembered. The image you project cannot be left to chance. Lasting influence is built on a carefully crafted myth, a consistent, disciplined narrative that defines how others see you, even when you're not in the room. The world does not know you. It knows the version of you that you present repeatedly. If you let others define that version, they will reduce you to whatever suits their agenda. But if you define yourself and repeat it without hesitation, they will have no choice but to accept it. Your discipline, your intelligence, your skill, none of it matters if it's invisible. You must amplify the traits that command respect and conceal the ones that invite doubt. This doesn't mean lying, it means editing. Mystery is not deception, it is insulation. Repetition is your ally. People are mentally lazy. They won't reanalyze you. They will cling to the version you fed them, and over time, it becomes truth in their minds. So craft your myth. Polish it. Protect it. And most importantly, never betray it. Power is never handed to the man who waits politely for his turn. In the real game, the crown is claimed long before it is deserved. The man who acts as if he owns it is far more likely to end up wearing it than the man who waits for an invitation. This is not arrogance. This is positioning. You don't need to dominate with noise. You dominate by carrying yourself as though you already have authority over the space you're in. The world responds to confidence faster than competence. Certainty, when performed consistently, becomes magnetic. People are drawn to those who appear to know where they're going, even if the destination is unclear. This is the theater of power, and once the audience believes the act becomes reality. In the eyes of the crowd, you are not defined by what you are. You are defined by what you claim to be. And if you claim it with enough conviction, the world will adapt to your claim, often before you've even earned it. Now comes the question that will decide everything. Who will you be the next time you enter a room? Because in that moment, you are broadcasting a message. You are declaring whether you are the man to be respected or the man to be ignored. You can keep playing the role you've always played, waiting for recognition, apologizing for your presence, letting others take your space. If you choose this, the outcome is already written. You will remain invisible. Or you can decide right now to kill that version of yourself. You can choose to walk with the weight of someone who already owns the crown, to become the presence that changes the temperature of a room the moment you arrive, not through arrogance, not through noise, but through absolute, unapologetic certainty. Because no one will believe you are the best until you do. No one will treat you like a leader until you act like one. And no one will kneel until you carry yourself as if the throne was already yours. So the choice is yours. Will you keep playing the invisible man, polite, patient, forgotten? Or will you become the presence that cannot be ignored, the strategist who commands without begging, the man who walks as if there is no one above him? Decide now. And once you decide, never break the act. Because when perception becomes your ally, reality has no choice but to obey. Power is not a gift. It's not a reward for good behavior. It's not a trophy handed to the patient or the humble. Power is claimed, and the claim begins long before the proof exists. If you've understood anything from this, it's that the world bends not to truth but to perception, and if you do not control the story they believe about you, someone else will, and it won't serve your rise. From this moment forward, you have a choice. You can continue as you are, hoping the world will one day see your worth, quietly waiting for your turn, trusting that merit alone will open the gates. Or you can step into the role before it's offered. You can carry yourself as if the crown is already yours, speak as if your words are law, and move as if the space you occupy belongs to you. Do this long enough and the perception will harden into reality. People will follow your certainty, protect your image and defend your position, often before you've fully earned it. That is the cold, unfair truth of influence. So here's my challenge to you. The next time you walk into a room, don't ask for space. Take it. Don't hope for respect. Command it. Don't wait for the crown. Wear it. If this struck you, subscribe now. Because here we don't just talk about power, we learn how to take it, keep it and use it. And in the war for perception, hesitation is surrender.